Yeah.
Is it working? Is it working? Okay.
I don't think it's refrigerator. Yeah, I think it's on her. Yeah. And I heard about the trucking association too. You know that big building in that house on like I thought people got rent out space there, but a lot of them are like Callie 211 who used to be in our building with us. She moved somewhere over there, but they're it's still upstairs. We kind of eliminate that because it's hard when you have to carry up. We have events or whatever. It's like your parents have to unload all that stuff and carry upstairs. And that's how much they put in the car. It is a lot. It's just a lot. So anyway. Well, I know this second. Good morning.
Boozy little man.
Okay. I definitely call. Thank you.
I'm gonna get you too this time.
I know. I'm 4 years. I bet. Tons. Well, I don't blame you. That's what my mother-in-law, she works for the state, the nutrition program, and she reduced down to 30 hours a week. Not 30 hours. No, 2 days a week. 30 hours a month. Something like that. And it's all worked out perfect. Now she's got to have our grandbaby, like our baby, but also 3 others. She doesn't babysit them. She just wants the flexibility to like be on the road and go to Birmingham or like if somebody's like if mine are sick, I can just tell them that hey, you can get the baby. I'm held up or something, that's been huge. Just the flexibility. Like and now she's like I really want to retire fully. Like she's like I don't want to do this anymore at all. So it's funny.
All right, we're going to call the meeting to order. Sorry, we're 2 minutes late. Got accosted in the hallways, and everybody's each of you can identify with that. Clerk, call the roll.
Senator Albritton, Senator Butler, Senator Chastain, Senator Figures, Senator Gavan, Senator Hatcher, Senator Hovey, Senator Kelly, Senator Melson, Senator Roberts, Senator Sessions, Senator Singleton, Senator Smitherman, Senator Wagner, Senator Allen, Senator Orr.
12 here present, and that more than a quorum. Thank you for being here. I would say this will not be our last meeting of the session, so just be on the lookout. We'll have another meeting. It won't be tomorrow, probably be next week, and it might be one of those unusual timed meetings, so just be on the lookout for an announcement sometime next week. That being said, another point of information, the House will be taking up the education budget on the floor tomorrow, and Chairman Garrett and I have been working closely. You're welcome to look at his committee draft that might be somewhere on the LFO website, perhaps, and just take note of it if you want to. But by and large, our Senate version has stayed intact, by and large. But we've worked well together, and we'll see if we can't concur as that bill comes up. All right, clerk, call the first bill.
Senate Bill 213 by Senator Williams.
Senator Williams, tell us about chickens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through traveling the state, I've talked to a lot of chicken growers, of course, in North Alabama and down here, Dothan area. One of their biggest financial burdens is the gas tax and the electricity tax. So, Mr. Chairman, would you rather me do the amendment first? Or?
Yeah, so she's got it right here. Why don't you, there is an amendment that I think is in your packet, members. Oh, we're passing around, Miss Esther. And I would point out, this is Esther, our intern, Esther Laguerre, and she has been accepted with a full ride to Washington University in St. Louis, But I've got lined up, Cam Ward is going to give us a ankle bracelet for her, and after 3 years, she's coming back home. We're going to force her to come back to Alabama, sit for the Alabama bar, and we're going to keep her here. We're going to loan her out to the Missouri folks and then bring her back home. So we're proud of her, and she's certainly done a great job for us during this particular session. All right, you got the amendment before you, Senator Williams?
Yes, the amendment is very easy. They just left off propane and put natural gas. So this is just adding propane.
All right, I'm offering it. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Senator Smitherman. Any discussion on the amendment? All right, hearing none, let's get a good roll going. Clerk, call the roll on the amendment.
Senator Albritton. Aye. Senator Butler. Senator Chastain. Aye. Senator Figures.
Right, aye.
Senator Gavan.
Don't forget catfish farmers. Aye.
Senator Hatcher. Aye. Senator Hovey. Aye. Senator Kelly. Senator Melson. Senator Roberts. Aye. Senator Sessions. Aye. Senator Singleton.
Aye.
Senator Smitherman.
Aye.
Senator Wagner. Senator Allen.
Aye.
Senator Orr.
Aye. All right, 13 ayes, 0 nays. Amendment's adopted. We're on the bill. Is there a
So moved.
Senator Smitherman moves, seconded by Senator Allen. Any discussion? Any objection to the previous roll? All right, seeing none, 13 ayes, 0 nays. SB 213 is given a favorable report. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, committee.
Clerk, call the next bill.
House Bill 24 by Representative Oliver.
Mr. Chairman,
Senator Sessions.
Senator Butler was going to be handling this, but he is sick, and Representative Oliver asked me if I would handle it, and it's just straightforward for our volunteer rescue squads for the reimbursement tuition program. And with that, I would move to give the bill.
Second.
All right, Senator Singleton and Senator Smitherman. Any discussion on the bill?
Please roll.
All right, no objection to using the previous roll. All right, seeing none, 13 ayes, 0 nays, the bill's given a favorable report. Clerk, call the next bill.
House Bill 163 by Representative Faulkner.
I've got that. Mr. Chairman,
Senator Roberts.
Representative Faulkner asked me to handle this. This is largely in and around the UAB area, and the most honorable Senator Smitterman's district, this goes back to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and this is a decoupling on research and development, which results in a positive fiscal note for Alabama of roughly 7.2 million plus, and it'll be a decrease on the federal taxes paid. And with that, we've got one amendment that's being passed around, and that has to do with the effective date of this act, and it would be effective immediately upon signing. So I'd offer that amendment.
All right, Senator Roberts offers, seconded by Senator Allen. Any discussion on the amendment? Any objection to the previous roll? All right, seeing none, 13 ayes, 0 nays, the amendment's adopted. We're on the bill. Any further questions? Is there a motion?
Move favorable.
I have.
All right, Senator
I just have one
Roberts
question.
moved. Let me get a second. Senator Gavan seconds. Senator Figures.
I was just going to ask, why was the effective date changed from October to immediate?
It affects nothing for our state revenue. It allows them to go ahead and file. If you'll see, it's retroactive back to 24. So it'll even be a larger increase on the fiscal note for Alabama, but allows them to amend their 24 return where they purchase a lot of equipment for R&D purposes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, any other questions? Any objection to the previous roll? Seeing none, 13 ayes, 0 nays. HB 163 is given a favorable report. Clerk, call the next bill.
House Bill 226 by Representative Crawford.
Welcome, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity. This deals with homestead exemption, 100% disabled exemption. If that person dies, the exemption goes to the surviving spouse as long as they stay in that house that the person died in and doesn't remarry. They would get that exemption.
Mr. Chairman,
Senator Smitherman.
move favor report.
All right, been moved and seconded by Senator Hatcher. Any other discussion on the bill? Senator Gavan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I would like to visit with you and someone from LSA about this going forward. I'm going to vote for it to get it out of committee. But I'm sitting. I see two different sides of this coin here, and I want to understand by talking with somebody at LSA the scope and magnitude of it. But you have a situation where, in a few years, not right now, but let's say my wife, who works only as a volunteer and has no income, if she were to predecease me, and I have taxable income over $12,000 a year, that I would get an exemption by being a widower. And that just doesn't seem right to me. But on the flip side, there can be widows or widowers who are not on the deed for a variety of reasons. Maybe they're mentioned in the will. Maybe they inherit through intestacy. And I see them being left out. So I see two different extremes here, maybe some unintended consequences, and I just want to visit with you on that.
Okay, well, it's not on the deed at the time of the death. It's on the deed when they make requests for the exemption. So if they were 100% disabled and weren't on the deed, they ended up their house, then when they made that request for the exemption, then at that time, then they would have to be on the deed to get that exemption.
Well, being on the deed is something as a real estate lawyer, I'll take issue with you on, because being on title and on the deed are two different things. So that may just need some wordsmith in there.
Okay, understand.
Okay, any other questions?
I just have a
Senator
question.
Smitherman.
What is and under the circumstances now, what is the present law? In other words,
The
if
exemption dies, that 100% disability would die when that person died. So whoever.
okay, under this one, however, no, I'm gonna hold it because you really go. She gonna really ask the question better than I could. And
Senator Figures.
Well,
as a widow. But what I want to ask is, are you saying that this bill is going to, say for instance, okay, I'm a widow and I have the homestead exemption now, but then I also get my husband's Social Security. So if I got remarried again, although I'm still the sole owner of that property, you're saying that I won't get it again?
If the exemption was you, then you continue your exemption. If your spouse was disabled and died, that's the exemption that would go to you. So if you weren't disabled, then there is no exemption.
So this is just for people with
100%,
disabilities?
100% disability.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So it was a little confusing.
Yeah, I understand. Representative and I had some conversations before we put it on the agenda, but I certainly know Senator Gavan probably has some well-founded questions. Senator Smitherman.
I'm just gonna move. If somebody
I
has.
think we moved in.
Mr. Chairman?
We already had Senator
Okay.
Nelson.
I just had one quick question. So let me see if I got this right. If I am married, but I'm on the Senator Gavan's question, would both people already be on the title and deed or whatever paper saying they both jointly own the house? But you're taking advantage of one person's disability to get the exemption?
I don't know what your situation would be. If you were on the deed or title, whatever, with the spouse, then that spouse dies, then there's no problem. If you were, say, in a family house and the husband never has put that wife on the deed, but she got the house, then she could continue that exemption.
So they may have been taking advantage of the situation, saying the person who is disabled is on record for paying the taxes. And the person could be working and make plenty of revenue that he wouldn't be eligible, but we're going to give him the ability that if she dies to get her disability credit for tax exempt. Am I saying that correctly?
Now, if the person is disabled, you're passing that exemption on to someone who didn't have that exemption.
Regardless of his income or...
That's right. They got it now.
So it's like having a disabled sticker for your car and the spouse taking advantage of it at the grocery store when all of a sudden she dies and he just keeps parking there?
As long as she doesn't remarry, I guess you'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any other Senator Figures?
Yeah, I'm still uneasy with this bill. I really got to just go and read it word for word and make sure I understand it, because I don't, I just feel like if somebody wants to get remarried, and usually the homestead is when you get that exemption is when you're 65 or older, right? So I just don't believe in penalizing a person if they decided to get married again. I just don't believe in that, and it's usually will be the woman that gets that penalty. So I am just not for that at all.
Under current law, they wouldn't get it anyway.
So why do you have to put it in here?
Because the exemption would pass on. Now there is no exemption. If a 100% person dies, then whoever the spouse would start paying the property tax.
So does that make sense, Senator? Because if you and I are married and I'm 100% disabled, I die, you're the widow, with this bill, my exemption or my disability passes to you, and that homestead exemption continues. But if you then get remarried to Senator Smitherman, then you'll lose that.
Okay, even though the house would still be in my name?
Yes.
But then what if I'm 65 or older?
That's a different category.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, all right.
You're riding a different
I think I got it
animal
now,
on
yeah.
that Bobby, be free. Okay,
I am
any
like
other
Bobby.
questions of the
I am like
representative?
Bobby. I just want to protect the future.
Any objection to the previous role? All right, we're adding 2 other members, so 15 ayes, 0 nays. The bill's given a favorable report. Thank you,
Thank you, Mr.
Representative.
Chairman, members.
All right, clerk, call the next bill.
House Bill 271 by Representative Collins.
And Representative, we'll let you go ahead and jump to 319 after this.
Thank you,
if don't
Mr.
mind.
Chairman. A few years ago, we passed a ReEngage Alabama bill to try to get students to complete their baccalaureate or their associate degree that had stopped. And we set that age at 25. And so this bill moves that age back to 22, trying to get more students
Senator
sooner.
Smitherman.
Move favorable report.
That's a second by Senator Hatcher. Any other questions or discussions? All right. 15 ayes, 0 nays. The bill's given a favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.
All right. Clerk, call the next Collins bill.
House Bill 319 by Representative Collins.
Thank you. This bill is the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. It would set that up in Alabama. Right now, this is an executive order, and so this would put it into law. It's a
Move for
wonderful
favorable
thing.
report.
Motion by Senator Hatcher and a second by
I'll second it.
Senator Smitherman.
I got a question.
Senator Smitherman, you got a question.
Please explain to me, what is this?
It's a wonderful program. It actually puts books in the hands of children from the time they're born till they start kindergarten every month, age-appropriate books. It sets up a process usually with a nonprofit. In my county, it's with United Way. And so our local area does 50%, and then the state matches that. And the parents can sign their children up, and they literally get the right book to try to promote reading and love of reading and be ready when they start school.
It's a great program.
Can you, at some point in time, walk me through that process so that I can share it back at home?
I'm glad to
just,
do that.
you
I've
know, I
actually
would
got some
appreciate this.
paperwork you could have. So.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Any objection to the previous roll? All right. Seeing none, 15 ayes, 0 nays. The second Collins bill, HB 319, is given a favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative.
Thank you, committee.
All right. Clerk, call the last bill.
House Bill 288 by Representative Mooney.
Representative.
Mr. Chairman, I'll handle this for
Okay.
Representative Mooney.
Senator?
Members, this is the companion bill to the Senate Bill 184 we passed earlier, addressing the shortage of athletic trainers in the state and the loan repayment program that they're
Mr. Chairman,
Senator Smitherman.
move favorable report.
All right.
I have an amendment.
I mean, I pull that back.
Amendment coming
They
around.
come around with
Going around this mountain
I'd
here.
like to adopt these amendments.
Okay, so Senator Chastain moves amendment. Senator Smitherman, you want to second that
Second,
amendment?
yes.
All right. Amendment's before us. Any discussion on the amendment?
Can you at least tell us what the amendments do? It's a
Yeah,
pretty long one.
I'd like to thank the chairman for his help in working with me on some of these. And basically what we're asking is that the science and teacher education program require the commission to develop accountability and an evaluation program for these students that are receiving these loans. And then the other is technical, where we deleted section on 121 through 126 and just changed the lines after that. But that's basically the gist of the amendments. Any other questions?
And before we move on, a large part of the amendment comes from the Commission on Evaluation of Services to make sure there is some, as Senator Chastain said, some accountability with that we're getting what we're paying for with these scholarships for athletic trainers.
And also, Mr. Chairman, making sure that they didn't double dip, basically, where they got the loan from the program that we established a few years ago, and then they're getting this, so that there's clarification in that as well.
Mr. Chairman,
Senator Smith.
I just want to commend you on that, because we need these trainers, especially in middle school. I mean, they just out there, and they're not fending for themselves, because we as coaches, that we have to be certified CPR in other aspects to try to maintain stability until I'm sure some help can come. But middle schools, they just really don't get it. They don't have enough people, trained people, and I think that this is very good in trying to get more people through that program and get them out there for the kids.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments? All right.
Mr. Chairman, quick question.
Senator Hatcher.
What does you mentioned the double dip. What does that imply?
There was a program that was we established 3 or 4 years ago that would provide loans for athletic trainers, a scholarship basically, and that served in, I think it was 1A through 3A schools at that time. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we've increased it since or changed the classification to which they would be eligible to serve in. But this would be for any classification in a K-12 school.
An increase in terms of the loan amount, or?
No, the loan amount remains the same.
Okay.
All right. Seeing no other questions, any objection on the previous roll? 15 ayes, 0 nays. Bill's given a favorable report. Oh, that was an amendment. Amendment's adopted, 15 ayes, 0 nays. And then we're on the bill. Senator Smitherman, Senator Hovey. Any other questions? All right. Any objection to the previous roll? 15 ayes, 0 nays. Bill's given a favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members.
All right. Thank you, members. And like I said, just be on the lookout. We will be meeting 1 or 2 times more probably next week. So we'll be meeting kind of sporadically. So thank you for being here. We are adjourned.